Hello everyone, welcome to this special presentation of Crit Eating Grin as we play through Curse of Strahd. At the table I have 3 people that have never played this and that wanted to play it, so I said let's do it and bring it to you, the viewers that are watching our channel on YouTube or listening to our podcast. This is a little more laid back than we're usually doing. We're just going to have fun and play as a group of friends and not try to, be all epic and just have fun or whatever. So to my right, we have...
Oh.
That would be my right.
You usually start to the left. Sorry. I'm Ellie. I'm playing... Do we introduce her?
Yeah, right.
Okay, cool. I'm playing Niley Armine. She's a Protector Asmar Paladin. And she really likes to hit stuff.
I'm Maria. I'm playing Theolova, elf, Simic hybrid cleric. And she is, kind of ready for the next chapter of her life.
I'm Corey. I am playing Rhodes, a human cleric, Twilight Domain, and he is ready for darkness.
Okay.
Night stuff.
Yes, I love this.
I'm Megan. I'm playing Celeste, a Aasimar Ranger, who's sister to Niley. She worships Lady Luck, and she's not afraid to take risks or chances.
And I'm the Dungeon Master that'll be bringing this to you. My name is Eric. I am the Dungeon Master for the Crit Eating Grin. For all the other things, the stream, everything. So as I said
Vote
before,
Dusty.
Vote Dusty.
So as I said before, we're playing Curse of Strahd. It could get a little graphic at points. We don't plan on making that way, but this campaign setting is a kind of gothic horror setting. Just to forewarn you, if you're a little squeamish, there may be a little bit more blood and gore than you may want to maybe fast forward through or pause or mute or whatever. So, you, the 4 of you, are traveling to the city of Daggerford on the Sword Coast, in the Forgotten Realms, the world of Faerun, the setting of Faerun. You have been invited by Duchess Morwen of Daggerford to have dinner with her. You've done a few odds and ends along the road leading to and around Daggerford as well as Daggerford. So this is something that you're familiar with the Duchess. So it's not necessarily a surprise. As you enter into the town, in which you are not really strangers with, you can see that the town's defenses are typical. Nothing like up in arms or it's just standard defenses of the city. And you guys definitely will count Lady Morwen as a friend and or possibly a benefactor, depending on what it is you're doing for her or with her at the time. A cool autumn breeze blows through the streets of Daggerford as you will make your way to the keep. You'll be brought in, as you'll see there are a few other people that have been invited as well, as this is somewhat of a formal dinner party. As you guys will be kind of brought to the table, introduced to a few people, you'll say your pleasantries. You will be served hot, spicy soup, tenderly cooked pheasants, and you can tell that the Duchess seems more out of sorts than usual. Then a pale or a pall, I guess would be, comes over the occasion as it gets quiet, and she voices her concern about a band of wayward travelers that are camped just outside the town's walls. I'd like everyone to make a perception check for me.
First roll.
Bring this from my old eyes can read it.
10.
18.
11.
16.
Okay, so the 18 and the 16 are going to be plenty enough to have noticed them while doing various traveling. Like you may have finished a quest and passed by what it is that the Duchess is referring to. These wayward travelers seem to be harmless at first, she says. But I have received reports that they have begun harassing townsfolk and other visitors, as some of the servants are coming to the table and exchanging, dirty plates for new, morsels of food or drink or something like that. Let's see. And other visitors are being harassed as well, and as they come and go, demanding money and wine. These people are, and threatening to put hexes on anyone who doesn't pay up. Yesterday, I ordered several guards to scare them away, or to scare away these mysterious visitors, but they couldn't get the job done. When the guards returned, they spoke sympathetically about the visitors. It seems as if the guards had been magically charmed. Morwen doesn't want an armed conflict, but she aims to see a stern message to the visitors and asks you, the four of you, to deliver it on her behalf. She says, if they don't leave before dawn, she says, I'll burn their wagons to the ground.
Does that seem normal for her?
I mean, she's a duchess. She's trying to take care of Daggerford, and these people are kind of threatening or harassing people that are coming and going.
Just wanted to make sure.
When you said that we kind of had noticed them, have we seen any identifying factors on them at all? Like,
the one thing that your 16 or 18 would have had, they dress very bohemian, very colorful garbs, scarves and such. They like to drink. They like to, have parties and things like that. You really didn't think too much of it. One thing you also noticed with the 18 is it's a fairly large kind of grouping or travel party. You both would have noticed in passing or noticing this that they have barreled wagons. That wagons are basically like big old barrels. And
how long have they been there?
It says, it doesn't really give a time. She'll say it's been several weeks, essentially. So the dinner will continue. It'll begin coming to a close as she kind of looks to you and speaks with you and asks if the four of you would take her up and pass along her message was, if you don't leave before dawn, the Duchess is going to burn down the wagons to the ground.
And she doesn't want armed conflict.
No, she's wanting to get them off her property, and she feels like this is the best way to do it.
Okay.
She feels as if the four of you are probably a lot more intimidating than her guards, based off maybe some of those things you've done around the area.
Yeah. Did she offer something?
She just assumed that some of the work that she's given you in the past and some of the things that she's done.
This is a favor.
This was a favor.
I look towards my companions. We're new to being together, but I feel like it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for this person to owe us something a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should do it.
And it's,
Seems easy.
seems harmless. I mean, we're just going to go there and pass along the message. Look fierce. As always.
Look menacing.
I just hit myself in the face when I did that. Alright, yeah, no, good? Yeah. I'll turn and we'll accept.
Good. She will thank you. She will go about her business, leaving the four of you to determine when and how you want to do this.
Has to be before dawn, so.
I got a 20 on an insight check on her. What am I picking up?
You're not picking up anything as far as that would trigger any I don't know, red flags, I guess you would say. She wants this matter taken care of because it's a concern on her mind. That's about it.
Okay. Do I pick up anything this is part of a bigger picture or anything like that, or?
No, it's just kind of an annoyance that's kind of started to affect her citizens and people traveling.
Sure.
Like I said, at first it was kind of harmless, but then it gets a little worse each time.
Yeah.
Rhodes is kind of curious if she's more concerned about them, or if she's more afraid of them than she's letting on.
That's, yeah.
Like, do they seem like their ability to charm the guards?
Well, go ahead and give me an insight.
Okay. 15.
I'll say with 20, and then maybe Rose kind of whispering over, and you guys having like a sidebar or a conversation as you're walking away. That there's a little fear of what they may be up to. Yes.
More than just your average bandits.
Yeah. I think her guard could have handled probably average bandits, or at least, you know. Yep. Alright, well, let's just be careful, you guys. Before we take off, I will give all of us... Well, never mind. I'll wait.
Okay.
I have to read my stuff.
I feel like we would just. What time of day is it? Like we went
It's
to a
in the
dinner
evening.
party, so
It's
like,
in the evening.
and
It's a
she's
cool
meaning by the
autumn.
next dawn, like the next day, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Or okay,
So,
Like
like,
tomorrow
yeah.
in the morning?
yeah,
Yeah, like you would need to go soon.
yeah, like
Rose has
now.
already packed up her marine.
Oh boy.
Yeah, yeah. No, I feel like that's why I
You
travel
can't
with
sleep
my
on
armor.
it. You can't sleep on it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I just didn't know if like.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. So that's gonna take like an hour. No.
Right.
The other daddy's
We
gotta
learned
change
that.
back into...
We learned how long it takes to take off
When the
armor.
guy boiled inside his armor.
That's why heat metal is like one of the most clutch bard spells. I don't care what they say.
So yeah, let's head out. If
Yeah.
everyone's ready.
Is it? You said it's on her property. Is it within like?
It's outside the city walls, right?
Correct. You would have known that it was, let's see. They're probably just outside the gates of Daggerford.
Like, remember we saw them on the way? They were.
Oh yeah.
Off to the side.
Yeah, I totally remember them.
Did they say anything to us when we walked through the gates, or are we like in the city?
I would say that you guys would have maybe heard them just drinking and
Okay.
dancing to music and playing music and such.
Okay.
Nothing out of the ordinary per se.
Yeah, that rowdy group.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that we should, you know, use any kind of scare tactics? How are we feeling as far as our abilities to convince scarily?
You know,
I'm not very scary. I'm a little purple girl.
it's.
Let's just wing it.
Okay.
Let's just wing it.
We'll just go ask them to leave. And say they're causing a disturbance, and by order of the Duchess, they have to leave by dawn.
I feel like if we tell them she's gonna burn their wagons down, that's your only option.
Let's maybe not escalate immediately. Let's just see if they'll leave at the
that's
first.
what she said.
Well, yes, and then we can say after, or she'll burn your wagons down. But I don't think we should just escalate.
Could we burn go ahead and preemptively burn a wagon down?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
No, let's not immediately escalate.
My whole thing is being like a calming presence,
Yeah.
Is it working?
but I am also a big guy with armor and a sword.
I am a tall gal with armor and a sword, so
Average height.
maybe the purple girl asks them politely to leave.
Yeah, I could certainly.
Does anyone in the party have charisma? I guess I should.
I have minimum I have a very small amount of charisma.
I don't have a bunch. I've
I have
got
+2
Same.
on persuasion.
in intimidation, so
I don't.
I can medicine them to leave really
I have a
good.
little-
I could also medicine them to leave really good. I could athletics them to leave really good. Pick up a wagon and throw it. No.
We're gonna get super persuaded by vampires.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah.
Can't wait. I want to be a vampire.
All right,
Sorry.
let's when we're on our way there, I want to divine sense when we get a little bit closer to them. Like, since I would assume I would know where they are, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. So I wanted to. I don't know how. Like, what's the 60 feet? So once I'm, within. I'd say 70 feet. I would cast it and then
Sure.
give it divine.
The divine sense does what for our viewers?
It is an action I can detect good and evil. The strong evil registers on your senses like a noxious odor. Powerful good rings like heavenly music in your ears. I can open my awareness to detect such forces. 60 feet. I would know the type celestial fiend or undead. But not its identity. I can also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hollow spell. Yes.
I will, when we're before we leave the city guards, I'm going to cast Emboldening Bond, or use Emboldening Bond for these two, for the Paladin and the Ranger, and just be like, alright guys, listen. These people are people too. You know, we have to make sure we know what their intentions are. So let's just go in tempered and, you know, be good, and let's try and bring some peace to their domain.
I did have to tell you to not burn a wagon down immediately.
Quiet. But that, as an action, I can choose 2 willing creatures within 30 feet of you, creating a magical bond, so we're bonded magically now, best friends.
Yay!
For 10 minutes, or until the feature is used again. While any creature is bonded within 30 feet of another, once per turn, they can roll a d4. So as long as you two are within 30 feet of each other, you can roll a d4. Basically, you're blessed.
Okay,
within 30 feet of each other.
Nice.
I will share my Eyes of the Night, and your dark vision extends to 300 feet.
Ooh,
all of us?
Nice.
Yes.
Damn. I see it all.
Who turned the lights on?
Oh, God.
You see the iridescence now.
So as you depart, the evening grows dark. You will see a dozen men and women gathered around a crackling bonfire that is just outside kind of the gates of Daggerford. The folk are in very good spirits. You have thrown up your
Good and evil,
good
yeah.
and evil.
Yeah.
So
Divine sense.
it's not like a pungent feel of evil, but it's not necessarily all these are beacons of light. It's kind of in that gray area.
Okay.
It's a little unsettling.
Are these families, like, or are they just, like...
From what you can tell currently, is they're just a collective or group of people.
Okay.
Currently.
Is it a spattering of races, or is it...
They appear to be mostly human.
And are they speaking common?
They are speaking common, and they do have an accent that's slightly unfamiliar to the four of you. You will be hearing a few of them sing, as some of them are dancing around the fire, while others are finding happiness in their flasks and wineskins. You will see a total of 3 barrel-top wagons that are parked, and then at odd angles, kind of creating like a barrier or a zone, if you will. Tied to a nearby tree, grazing are half a dozen draft horses wearing bright coats and bangles and tassels. And you're assuming, obviously, these are the horses for the wagons.
Does anyone approach us when we approach?
I assume that you guys are within 15-20 feet-ish.
Yeah, we would maybe like...
You're gonna see, like, some people are acknowledging you as far as, like, they look in your direction, but they carry on. They're not sweating you.
Does it look like there's, like, people gathering around a leader of some sort? Like...
It just seems like they're all kind of partying, having a good time.
Okay.
It gets a little rowdy, you know, there's some cat calls and things like that going from some of the ladies that are performing dances, as some of them are performing, you know, playing their instruments in various musics.
Well...
She's gonna shove you forward, like, come on, spokesperson.
Yeah, I'll take that. If I have the attention of a few of them around me, I'll just... excuse me. I'd like to have a word with some of you.
So some of them will look, and then you will see kind of pushing his way through the kind of party that's taking place, an older gentleman. He approaches and he says, "Ha! My name is Stanimir," is what he'll say.
Stanimir?
Stanimir. And what is it that you wish with us, is what he says.
We bring a message from the Duchess. She's asked that you leave this area.
Don't worry, we have no wish to make enemies of the Lady Morwen. But I do have a story I wish to tell all of you. First, you listen, then we go. Deal?
Can I insight him? Get his
Sure.
kind of like intention right now?
Sure.
That was a...
That's cocked. Sorry. I got a 14.
My passive is 15.
22.
22 is going to be good enough to pick up on this fellow as if his intentions are for you to hear the story and honor his wishes, but there may be a slight hidden agenda with the 22.
Are there drinks to go along with this story?
But of course, he will say,
Fill her up.
Vladimir is what he'll say, get this lady a drink, and he will bring a drink to you. Come, follow me, and he makes his way over towards the big bonfire in which the celebration and the party is kind of taking
I
place.
really want to be, like, on high alert. Like, did you note, like, did you kind of give, like, a signal of, like, hey, intentions might not be good?
Yes, Rhodes will lock eyes with you and just give a wary look.
So, yeah, I'll be on pretty much high alert,
Okay.
you know. Trying to, look, like, be casual, but maybe, like, putting a hand on, like, the greatsword as I walk.
Sure.
Kind of probably looking like a soldier.
You will see that there are several people that are kind of drinking, having a good time, and are kind of eyeballing you as you do that. So you move around. There's going to be several of these folk that are kind of perched up on, various stools or logs that have been kind of set around the bonfire, and a few of them are going to kind of move, making way so you can have a seat around the fire. Anybody, so what are you guys doing?
I'll stand.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
standing.
Okay.
I'll sit.
I'll sit if they're gonna stand.
Yeah, well, you got two.
I love a good story. This sounds great.
Okay.
Rhodes is standing with his hand on his longsword.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
Perched in
we're
the
mirroring
dirt.
kind of each other.
Okay. So you notice as the old man kind of motions or moves over towards an older woman, you're assuming probably a relation or a good friend or something, and she's holding 2 wine glasses, and he reached for one of the wine glasses. You're presuming it's his, and he kind of takes a big mouthful of this wine. As he fills his mouth with the wine, he then turns and spits the wine into the fire. The flames turn from orange to green. As they dance, being the flames, and they sway, there are dark shapes that appear in the center of the bonfire's core. We've come from an ancient land whose name is long forgotten. A land of kings. Our enemies forced us from our homes, and now we wander the lost roads. The dark shape in the fire takes form as a man being knocked from his horse, a spear piercing his side. Stanimir continues. One night, a wounded soldier staggered into our camp and collapsed. We nursed his terrible injuries and quenched his thirst with wine. He survived. When we asked him who he was, he wouldn't say. All he wanted was to return home, but we were deep in the land of his enemies. We took him as one of our own and followed him back toward his homeland. His enemies haunted him. They said he was a prince, yet we didn't give him up, even when their assassins fell upon us like wolves. Deep in the bonfire, you see the dark figure standing with a sword drawn, fighting off a host of shadowy shapes. This man of royal blood fought to protect us, as we protected him. We bore him safely to his home, and he thanked us. He said, I owe you my life. Stay as long as you wish. Leave when you choose. And know that you will always be safe here. The figure in the dancing fire vanquishes its final foe, and then disappears in a cloud of smoke and embers. Stanimir's face becomes a somber mask. A curse has befallen our noble prince, turning him into a tyrant. We alone have the power to leave his domain. We've traveled far and wide to find heroes such as yourselves to end our dread lord's curse and put his troubled soul to rest. Our leader, Madame Eva, knows all. Will you return to Barovia with us and speak with her?
I have a lot of questions. First of all, the audacity. No. What purpose do you have staying here and terrorizing the locals and travelers? How is that helping your case?
We have been sent to find the people we feel would be appropriately suited to help put our Dark Lord to rest, easing his soul.
Why not the guards from before?
Ha! No, the guards are just guards.
Okay.
The four of you have heart.
What's in it
Have
for
fight.
us?
Of course you would ask that.
Glory.
Some things you don't get material things in return.
One's gotta live.
Glory. The question still stands, you know, like, I don't know that stealing and terrorizing the locals is the way to save your cursed prince. And I'm trying to understand why you're causing our lovely person Morwen, right? Morwen, such trouble. She's threatening to take action if you don't leave.
Which, I feel if we go with them, they leave.
This is true.
What curses your king?
The unending sleep is what he'll say.
Say
Does
more
it
about that.
Mean anything to us?
You could always make a history check if you'd like.
That's 9.
Today I can roll good. 16.
17.
Okay. There are several things that have been known to cause the inability to rest or sleep. There's lichdom, could be one of the things. Insanity could be one of those things.
Who cursed him?
You all see Rhodes, instantly his demeanor changes, and he is compelled by this.
Okay.
I'm gonna take note but not say anything yet.
So Celeste, I want you to go ahead and give me a Constitution save. And as you guys are kind of going about
with the D4.
Yes, you have a
hashtag
D4.
blessed,
Mm-hmm.
the rest of you are going to hear from out of the crowd, "We have no time for this, father," and kind of pushing his way through the crowd. What's your result?
15.
15? Mm-hmm. You feel extremely dizzy and kind of fading in and out, like you're extremely tired.
Are you wavering?
This man comes up, and you can see he has to be a relation to Stanimir. And he has this huge kind of pot, this iron pot, and he takes this iron pot and he kind of tosses the contents towards the bonfire. And as he does, it hits, and there's kind of this explosion of steam that fans out. And
would it result in anyone getting hurt? My two people, Celeste and Theolova, are sitting in front of the fire. So if I could, I'd like to try to move at least one of them.
Sure. You can do a dex saving throw to try to help your friends.
That's an 18.
Plus D4.
Okay,
that's a 22.
So how would you go about doing that?
I just kind of grab them, kind of almost by their scruff. She's an older sister, she's used to it,
Sure.
and just yank them
kids.
up, as fast as she can.
Sure.
Not even worried about catching anyone, just moving them out of the way of getting hit with any damage.
Okay. Absolutely. You'll be able to do so. When this kind of steam or this kind of vapor or mist or whatever it is kind of spreads in a very large diameter, it causes you to cough at first, but everything kind of relaxes a lot. Does anybody have anything, immunities towards sleep or poisons or anything like that before you go
Just
any further?
necrotic and radiant, that's it.
Same.
Mm-mm.
And everybody's hit points are
I got 11.
I got 11.
okay. And
11.
you're already screwed. Sorry.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, you were roofied. So as this happens, your vision, being Celeste, starts to blur, and you just kind of fade into blacking out. And you will quickly kind of hear or sense your sibling kind of collapse to the ground.
Yeah, do I still have her? Like,
Yeah, you do. You
Okay.
can feel it. The funny thing is this is equivalent to a sleep spell,
ow.
and there's enough of whatever happened to basically knock you guys out as you start to fade out. Things get a little echoey as like conversations kind of echo and fade in and out, and then eventually just fading to black.
Last words are, I'm gonna kick these guys' ass.
I trusted you.
Right. Right.
I didn't.
So what I'll have you guys do is go ahead and roll me a... let's do a con save. Everybody make a con save.
Except for me.
Oh, you can make one too.
8.
Do we still have a +4?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You too.
11.
I got 17.
Thanks.
19.
Can't tell if it's a 6 or if it's a 6.
Good to know the two sisters are
12.
right in the same thing.
19 for you, Rhodes. You're going to be the first one to kind of, your eyes kind of flutter. You wake up to see that you're in a dark place. Like your dark visions works, but it's definitely very dark. The soil is slightly damp. There's a little bit of a mist or a fog that kind of is in the air. And when you kind of turn and look, you can see your compatriots are kind of like arranged around a bonfire or a campfire. Your surroundings look familiar yet unfamiliar at the same time.
Okay. He is going to just scan the area before he does anything else.
Sure.
Just-
Go ahead and give me a perception check. And then 17. Zafialova, you'll be the next to wake up. When you come to, you will see that Rhodes has kind of slowly picked himself up and seems to be kind of looking around the area
And he'll have sword in hand.
as his sword is in hand.
Rhodes,
20.
are you okay?
So, what you see with 20 is a kind of fog mist area, and you can see that 70 to 100 feet out, it just gets dense and thick. There are certain points you feel as if you see something walking, but when you kind of focus and look in that, it's as if it just evaporates inside this fog. There's a main road not too far from where this camp is.
And it all looks different from where we were before.
It feels familiar yet vaguely different. It's kind of this mind trip, if you will.
Okay. Something's changed.
Yeah, I think so.
As the two sisters sit there drooling, sleeping.
Can I go over to either one and try and help wake them up?
Who do you want to? Which one?
I will wake up
Niley.
Niley. Or try to.
It won't take much. A gentle
Niley,
nudge.
Niley.
Whoa, where? What?
We should get your sister.
Is she like within reaching
Yeah.
distance? I'll just like kind
You'll
of kick
see
her
the
with my
spilled
foot.
mug that she had is still laying there too.
How
Just
long?
kind of kick her with my leg, like.
You get
up,
a jolt
Celeste.
and you're awake.
We're on the ground.
Yeah.
Have we any sense of at all what time or like where the moon is or anything like that?
So
Can
you
we
don't.
see the moon?
It's very disorientating. It's very like when you look up, it feels as if it's night, but it's not like the blackest of night. And there's a lot of fog and there's a lot of atmosphere.
Does it still look like the same place, like the campfire we were at?
That portion of it does, yes.
But everything else.
Different.
Where did those people go?
Yeah, really, where did they go as I like pull my sword out?
So everybody's gone.
Was the story we heard, that wasn't a dream, right? We were there. There was a story about a cursed prince or
The
something.
prince who defended them, they said that they would always be protected, and they said they wanted us to free their prince from the unending sleep curse. Whatever that is.
And then they said they'd leave though, so I feel like
Well, if they didn't, I don't think the Duchess is going to be very excited with us if we get back.
As far as we can see, the wagons and everything else is gone.
Yeah, there's no...
It
Are
just
there any
looks like
tracks?
Make a survival check.
Yeah. Survival. 19.
You will see wagon tracks where they kind of lead from this camp that you guys kind of woke up at and venture into the main road. The ground is kind of soft enough to show it.
That they were there recently? Or...
Sure. They were there at least.
Yeah.
If everyone's up now, I'm going to walk towards the main road and just see if I can see anything further through the fog.
Okay. So you have a visual, like when you get to the main road. If you look towards the east, everything gets kind of lost in the fog, dense. When you look towards the west, the fog is lighter, at least in the western direction. Obviously, off the main path, it's very dense and very thick.
Is that the way the tracks go?
Yeah.
The wagon tracks?
West
It's
or east?
pretty tough to tell because it's basically just a wagon path that is just marred with various wheels.
Can I tell which way they turned, though? Leading from the grass.
There are various there's directions east and west.
16-point turn.
It's a very heavily it's a very heavily traveled wagon path or main road.
Should we maybe try to navigate back to town and see if they're causing a ruckus
Yeah. But
and fill in the...
which way is town?
Can we get any directional sense?
Would we know if our home place ever got this, like, dense with fog?
I would say as travelers you would have seen fog and dense fog, and this feels denser than the densest fog you've seen. It's very disconcerting or eerie.
I don't feel like this
Especially when you begin to like look, if you stare into it, you might see the occasional like silhouette walking. It may turn and look at you and be a skull and then just kind of vanish as soon as you're kind of like, what did I just see? It's just like, what?
Are you seeing
I'm seeing
anything in this fog? Because I feel like I'm seeing these terrifying creatures, but I can't tell if it's in my head or not.
Distant howls, as if wolves.
I think we should
Creatures such as are fairly far away.
make our way to town.
Is this the Barovia that they spoke of?
Or we didn't get any descriptors because that stupid son decided to drug everyone.
Is this what drugs feel like?
I don't know. Yes, I don't know. Does Celeste have a roofie headache though?
You don't have any adverse effects from being quote-unquote drugged.
Can we tell that we are magically put to sleep, or like...
It's pretty easy. You've probably had enough traveling or adventuring.
Yeah.
You were affected by sleep magic.
The house sounded far away though. To us, more.
Currently.
The
Yeah.
western path seems to be safer.
Well, I mean, we're not going to figure anything out unless we start walking. So,
What was the equivalent of the way back to town?
what? Yeah, did we like?
Based on
So you guys would have come from the east and went west. So when you look towards the east, where you would technically go to try to find Daggerford, it's like completely dense fog.
obscured?
Yep.
should we try to go the way towards town, or should we take the less foggy path?
I think that it probably would be smart to at least inform the Our Lady Duchess that of what's going on, and I'm not disinclined to help these people. They seem pretty,
Yeah, aside from the drugging, they seem like swell people.
You're talking to somebody that was subjected to hybridization.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Alright, so then east is how we would go.
So it shouldn't, I think we can at least say, like, if we head east for the same amount of time we headed west and we don't see anything, then we should change the plan.
Can I cast... I want to cast light, like, on my boot, so it
Okay.
works like a low beam,
Sure.
rather than high beams.
LA lights.
Yeah, I just want to cast light, like, just on the tip of my boot, so that, like, when we walk, it kind of, like, hopefully helps.
Okay.
But nothing will. Yeah.
So who's leading the party?
I can
sea guy,
Yeah.
the sea
Yeah.
dude.
Okay, and what's your marching order behind?
Oh.
I'll be in the back and just,
I'll be-
encouraging peace.
third from the back. So second.
That's my second.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll begin to go in the eastern direction. As you do, you will actually feel like a shift or a change in temperature when you kind of start pressing into that fog. It's almost as if you step into a veil. 5 degrees cooler. And you can almost begin to hear subtle whispers. Go back. Don't do it. Come
Can
further.
I-
Like, just everyone's kind of hearing it.
I want to do
That
another-
thing where you're like, what was that? Kind
Yeah.
I want to do another divine sense.
of. Sure.
60 feet around me, do I detect any good or evil?
Yes.
I-
Both good and evil. More evil prevalent. And the best way I can describe it is like the motes of light or the beacons are just being crushed or snuffed out amongst the evil in this. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So am I getting fiend or undead?
Low column A, column B.
Okay.
It's a little everything. It's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle effect, where your moral or your divine compass is kind of like, I don't have a direction.
It's just so spinning all-
crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Breathing becomes tough. You probably move 100 feet or so, and it gets hard to breathe as if you can't catch your breath. And I'd like everyone to give me Constitution saving throws, please.
Ooh, goodbye, Philova.
Good.
Nice.
We'll take a
knowing
break to roll a new character.
Yeah. 17.
Okay. 17.
15.
15.
Natty 1, so whatever you want.
19.
19. Okay.
Somebody carry me, please.
Every one of you begin to feel as if you're walking through mud. You all earn an exhaustion point.
Oh. I think we should go back.
And Theolova begins to have a panic attack with the one, as if she cannot catch her breath.
Since I'm closest to Fialova, I'll kind of turn around and I don't really know.
I don't have any of your
Medicine?
orders
To check to see if I could talk her out of a panic attack, or is that a persuasion roll?
Yeah, you could use medicine. I'm fine
Medicine?
with that.
Okay. Just because,
Sure.
I'm definitely, my panic attack resembles me sitting on the ground and just freaking
Rose,
out.
you hear a
internally.
voice, and this voice sounds
Exhaustion
vaguely
points
familiar of one of your
conditions.
previous companions
Oh, okay, so
or
that's
a
right.
mentor of sorts who
At the very
says,
bottom.
just this way, a little closer, is what you'll hear as she is trying to attend.
I got a 5, so I'm not doing very well.
I'm sitting with my legs akimbo, just like,
Well, at
You
least
just
gotta.
see Rose looking at the road, and he just says, "The darkness speaks to me."
I think we should turn back on that same note. Fialova's not doing very well.
She doesn't look very well.
He will notice that, and then he will start talking his normal bullshit about how the night
I dreamt this.
is embracing and how it's...
Gives the Batman speech.
oh right, I was
Rose,
molded by
Rose,
it.
you can keep going on about how the darkness is giving life or whatever, but I really think we need to take Fialova back.
Let's go back.
How is she able to walk or no? Fialova?
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
You'll have to
get you-
definitely encourage me. I'm like clutching my amulet and just kind of muttering prayers and hoping that this will.
Fialova,
Being
come
a
on.
cleric or a paladin, if you have an amulet or some sort of communication device to your god,
Yeah.
it feels like a slight disconnect also. Keep that in
I
mind.
can't feel her. I can't feel any of her.
It kind of leaves you feel cold on the inside, just a subtle shiver.
I haven't felt this alone since.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's just walk back.
Help me.
Come on.
Can't
Yeah.
find the moon.
I want to help Fialova to stand. I
Okay.
don't know. You're an elf, right?
Yeah,
So you're
I'm
like-
small. I'm not
Yeah,
huge.
I feel like do you want me to make a roll for that, or can I just help her?
I'll
Yeah,
use my mace
sure.
as like my.
Celeste, you actually hear out of your, like out of the side, peripheral, like let's say on your right side or right ear, darling, come to me. Is what you'll hear, and it sounds like the voice of your mother.
Do you hear that?
You did not.
No,
You're
I-
too concerned.
We really need to get Fialova back to the field. Let's all just move quickly. Big sister's coming in now.
So are we still... is it still difficult terrain, or...
So it feels that way. To you, you'll have an exhaustion point. Make sure you note your exhaustion
Yes.
point, and the effects of that basically gives you disadvantage on ability checks currently.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Let's turn around. Let's
Yeah.
go back.
Yeah, would probably already be walking feel of a back, like starting the walk, kind of like making sure the other two are still with me. Like, come on, everyone, move together as a group, stay together. Let's move back.
Okay, so go ahead and give me an athletics check to press through this fog.
Everybody?
Yeah. If you're leaving the fog or not.
Oh my god.
It's an 11.
Isn't that one? For 2.
Okay.
Also that one.
Holy cow.
4.
We just get lost. Just get surrounded by fog and lost.
So as you start to move, Celeste, you feel as if the hand of your mother touches you, causes you to look. You feel like a silhouetted image in the fog. And it kind of gives this, come here, kind of feel.
Turn.
You have a nat 1 when you turn and see your most prevalent mentor that you probably would have regarded highly, as he says, "Don't run further," is what you hear. Only you. You look around as if they're insane. They're like looking around at just the fog. You are going to see a fallen comrade, former lover, something of that, who says, "I can help you. This way."
Oh my god.
If I'm leaning on you.
I've got her kind of
Yeah.
like.
I'm leaning on to
I don't think I could throw an arm
Niley,
over
and
my
I'll
shoulder.
be like, Niley, do you hear this?
I hear you all talking crazy. Let's move.
They want to help me.
No, I will help you. We're gonna go back to the field. It's gonna be okay.
I'm gonna roll to decide if I want to trust Niley.
I want to roll a persuasion as well.
Sure.
Oh, that's a natural 20, so I'm like,
Oh. I got a 17 to persuade.
It works out. The dice
Kind of-
told the story.
yeah,
You're looking into it, and
please,
you're kind of
just
following
help
her
me.
lead.
Please help me.
Yes.
I can't.
Yeah.
I
Do
can't
I
keep-
know? Have they started to walk off or?
They're still standing there.
I would at least stopped, if nothing else.
So the two of you are probably 15 feet, beginning to lose visual on your other compatriots.
I'll stop.
I would not normally do this, but the darkness is different here, and I will take out a hooded lantern and see if that changes my situation at all.
Okay, so you take out the lantern and light it, and when you do, it's bright, and you hear what sounds like shrill screams as you begin to lose your breath, as the fog kind of begins to envelop you. You guys will lose vision of where he is, as if something has just swarmed around him, kind of taking him away from your vision. With the lanterns out, it's like light on fog, like it's bright, it's kind of, you're looking around, and you feel as if things are like pulling at your armor. You feel as if things are beginning to tear from your body, so you kind of react to kind of pull it closer and trying to hold on to it, but no one can see this.
I don't want to walk further than where I can see them, and now that Rhodes is gone, is the fog beginning to get better as we walk away?
For the two of you, yes. You're beginning to kind of get into what you feel is a comfort zone or safe.
Once I can hold myself up a little bit better, I'm still in panic. I'm just gonna be like, help them. Please help them if you can.
Can I want to try to hold my breath as I go in. Like, not take anything in. Maybe, like, internally, just, like, repeat the prayers that I've learned.
Sure.
I cast guidance.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
As
Gonna need it.
As you walk away, I'm like, please help them. I can't take this. I gotta sit down.
You just don't go anywhere. And then I'll hold my breath, kind of just, like, hold it as long as I can.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a religion. See how well you can pray.
Oh, God.
You said you were reciting these different prayers and things.
Does guidance work on that as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And remember your disadvantage on...
I did, yeah.
Because you're exhausted.
12 is the number.
Okay. So you hold your breath and moving in, and you, as you proceed to go in, who are you?
I'm gonna go for Celeste first, because she's probably the person I can see, and that's also my sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to, like, grab her arm.
So as you get within about 10 feet of her, you feel as if there's something kind of around your waist and ribs, and it's beginning to squeeze as if it's going to try to push whatever air you have. It makes it extremely difficult to kind of hold your breath.
Yeah.
And you go towards her and reach out towards her, and you, for a split second, see the silhouette of this woman. It looks as it's like your mother for just that second, but then the kind of demeanor, whatever, changes into this frightening, almost like wraith-like thing as you see Celeste, your mother, turn to reach out and kind of like you feel this kind of these soft fingertips under your chin, like, come darling, come to me, kind of drawing you in.
I have a player question. Is your mom dead?
We never decided.
Okay.
I'll
Roll.
play evens or odds to see
Sure.
if mom's dead.
Sure.
It's a 1.
Mom's
Mom's
pick that before.
Yeah.
mom's dead. Let's
you
just
go.
note that now.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'm
mom's
start
dead.
to move whichever direction.
So as you get within 5 feet, she pulls back to 10 feet, and the fog begins to kind of like around her to where it's going to get hard to see her.
I would. How far away is she? Sorry.
So you were at 5 feet within grasp, and then she just walks 5 feet away, so you're back at 10 feet. So as soon as you get within ground and grabbing her collar, she just steps almost simultaneously, keeping a 10-foot space.
Oh God.
At this point, I would say Filova, correct?
Fiolova.
Fiolova, sorry. I'm terrible with names, as we all know this. You're pulling out of the fog or mist, and you're beginning to lose sight of your friends, for sure. And they begin to sound like echoes in the night when they say something, or they shout, or whatever they do. You can hear, but you no longer can see.
You hear Rhodes like, unhand me.
And it kind of echoes, followed by the howl of a wolf in the distance.
Will I still hear, like, or feel that presence of a person from my past?
No, that's kind of, once you kind of get out of there, it kind of steps away from that.
And do I feel like it's most of the
She would
panic
want to.
and fear is being lifted? Or
You
is it...
feel less anxiety, for sure, but
Okay.
you still feel that kind of goosebumpy
Just like-
kind of shudder of where you are feel.
Going on like spite and stuff, like right now, like fury, spite, like pulling forth all those things.
Is there any chance that like I can fight through it in my mind, like rationalize the situation?
You can give me let's make this a wisdom save.
Okay. Disadvantage? Because,
Yes.
14.
You are able to kind of still your mind a little bit, but you're beginning to feel as if you continue any further, this is going to play on your psyche.
Okay.
So
Is
you
it
have
enough for me to snuff out the
Oh,
lantern?
yes, you can fight, you can close the lantern, and when you do, for that split second, you see these wraiths-like kind of entities as they like tornadically spin around you, and you quickly take a 10-step, back step, essentially. And then when you do, you can see like the fog kind of parts where you were and then quickly closes, and they're looking to come towards you.
Okay. I would like to cast guidance on myself just
Sure.
to try and
Is guidance
create
like
some
for
sort
one
of
thing, or is it
connection to
per
my...
roll?
It
Sure.
is,
The-
Sure, yeah.
I mean,
You
I
feel,
think
when you
I'll look
cast
at
the guidance, you do feel a stronger kind of beacon or connection to it. Yeah.
It's
1
minute.
So yeah, 1 minute. Okay.
And as you separate, you're also beginning to hear the shouts of some of your fellow travelers.
I will, I think what I'll do is stay where I'm at, but start to chant loudly,
Okay.
trying to be like a prayer or like a ritual, not trying to create anything, but really mostly just trying to give my friends a place to focus on potentially. So it's kind
Okay.
of like a real ritualistic chant, but more like just I'm going to raise my voice. I'm going to try to make noise.
Sure.
Because
Okay.
I'm too afraid to go in the fog. That's not happening again.
Sure.
But I can try and be a beacon for who are my friends.
Okay.
I don't really have much else.
So those of you who are still in the fog are going to begin to faintly hear this chant.
Okay.
That kind of centers you and kind of gives you a grounding point.
Yeah. I'm just trying to grab Celeste. Is the light on my boot doing anything for me visual-wise?
It is a little bit. It's
It
not
feels
as... Yeah, but as you get a sense and you look, it's giving you a little, but what it feels like is if this fog, when you step into it or when you're in it, it is trying to enclose on the light and basically just like eat it or snuff it out.
Okay.
And it's slowly working that way.
I want to see how long it lasts.
And
1 hour, okay.
I am going to... I'm going to rush over to them.
Sure.
And...
Go ahead and give me a... Because you don't really see them, so go ahead and give me a survival check with disadvantage, obviously, to try to locate or find them.
I die.
Not yet.
only on the inside.
Oh, okay.
12.
Okay, you're meandering about trying to find them, so you now will begin to hear somewhat close by the shouts of Rhodes as he's, where are you? You know, he's trying to communicate.
I'm still trying to hold my breath so
Yeah.
that, like... Oh, God!
So, holding breath is, I think it's your constitution modifier, is how long you can hold your breath.
1.
So you got 1 minute. So
Okay.
it's getting to that
Yeah.
burning, hurting, and then there's these massive, like I said, almost like fingers or hands are just squeezing
I'm
the
thinking
sides.
about that. I want to, like, with the breath remaining, kind of persuade, like, intimidate, persuade, like, at Celeste. She's dead. She's not here. Like, just use that last bit of, like, she's dead! type thing.
So you hear it echo, and then you feel it as if your twin bond kind of connects. There's a connection, as I might play around with that mechanic again.
Is anyone within 60 feet, or is Rhodes within 60 feet of me?
I think
Don't
I've
know.
walked farther away from you at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also took you back, like, 15-ish feet.
Right.
That's such a good roll to give out. Oh, that's actually not bad. I got a 19. I'm either, like... I think it would be an intimidation, because, like, she's literally just trying to, like, older sister voice that, like, get over here!
Get over here!
Yeah.
So go ahead and, like, you hear that echo physically, and then you feel it mentally, because you have that kind of crazy twin connection. Go ahead and give me an insight check. So we're gonna make this disadvantage for being, yep, because you're exhausted.
I did roll
Alright.
mine with disadvantage, so... 5. My,
You move 5 feet deeper into the fog. She is completely out of your sight at this point.
When you start yelling, do I...
You
look at
hear?
you anymore?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I would say that's a great point. Like, once you...
yeah, burst it out
you
with
can
that.
kind of press off to your right, and you'll bump into her.
Okay.
I'm sure that's a swords out moment.
Right? Is the
Unless
two
you're
of you
still,
can
I'm sure
face
you're
off?
still like screaming around for us, like Niley,
Yeah.
Celeste, Filova, where are you? Type thing. So
He definitely does a shield at first.
they both shield up, like, what are you doing? I'll just kind of point in Celeste's general direction and be like, she's further in the fog. She's not listening.
Okay. I have just a domain feature. It's not a spell, and it doesn't say it requires concentration. It's Vigilant Blessing.
Oh my gosh.
Mechanically it gives initiative, but I don't know if in this moment it would, I think the intention is that it makes you feel well rested and ready to go.
Okay.
I'm just gonna touch you and give you Vigilant Blessing, just
Okay.
And does it give you, like, what was this? Does it give you, like, an advantage?
it just gives you advantage on initiative.
I'll tell you what, like, even though you're exhausted, then
That's enough.
you feel, it is exactly like he described it. It gives you normal rolls currently.
Okay. I will.
I want to cast light to see if I can.
Okay, go ahead. How or describe how you're doing it.
Let's just say I cast it on my cloak, and I try to kind of wrap my cloak around me to give a radiant light.
Okay, you do so, and when you do, it's extremely bright, and what you see around you is these wraith-like entities kind of right at you to the point where it startles you. Go ahead and give me a wisdom.
Disadvantage.
Yes.
It's up against me. 4.
You are essentially frightened with the effect of fear. So let me double check that.
Which means I have to move away from it.
Yes.
Yes.
But which direction do you move in
Uh-huh.
is the thing.
So you can roll a d4 to see which direction you move.
Move towards me, come on.
Move
I would like to see if I can't determine if or why this clearing is clear. Why is there an eye in the storm? And are we surrounded 360 by fog, except for this clearing?
The clearing does have some fog, right?
The clearing has a faint fog.
But it's not
just enough to kind of make
dense.
it, yeah, like it's hanging in the air, very thin, but enough to make it like creepy vibe.
Can I tell, like, if it's still emanating or, like, centered on the fire where he threw the...
Oh, no.
Cauldron?
No, it's not. You easily enough you'll be able to tell.
Okay.
I tell you what you will be able to do is as you're looking around, you hear what sounds like the clopping of horse hooves in mud. And you look, let's say, 100 feet in the distance, and what you see is a handsome man on horseback. This horse is the most raven black horse you've ever seen. The tail, the very tip of the tail, kind of has this glowing ember effect to a point. The eyes of the horse kind of have these tiny flickers of flame. And you swear you see a little smoke kind of coming out the nostril. As the horse kind of like stamps into the mud a few times, this silhouette and figure looks at you.
First I want to roll to make sure I don't think it's a hallucination. Or like it...
No, it's not.
Okay,
I'll give
alright.
you that.
I'm still shaking in fear. Can you help us? Please? Please help us, is what I'll say.
Sure. Are you being persuasive? Are you trying to intimidate?
Being pathetic.
What role would that be if we're just sad?
I would say, yeah, I mean, it's definitely persuasion, but
Sure.
I think it's more along the lines of desperation. Like,
Okay, go ahead. Just roll persuasion.
that's an E17 for me.
So it's very persuasive.
Is it a disadvantage, though? Because I'm exhausted?
It is.
Never mind.
Do you get a D4 to it, though, for guidance?
I didn't guide myself.
She
that's-
guided me.
Okay,
Right.
okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
I'm getting guided.
that's a 5
Yeah.
instead.
So the figure looks at you as you plea, very pleading like. And all you are going to see is that he grabs the rein, the horse kind of raises on its hind legs and then drops, and then he pulls hard to the left or the west and then trots down the path. And when you do, you swear you see the bottom of the hooves kind of glowing with fire or spark, kind of charging it down the pathway.
Away from?
Yes,
Then-
to the west.
okay.
He was
Way.
like disgusting.
Gross.
Club. I will crumble in tears again, just and continue wailing my chant.
What was your random direction?
2.
Okay. So the two jump to the two of you. You're going to immediately move.
We're
In
I
that
think- I figured
direction.
We were touching each other.
Yeah, we're definitely like...
And as you guys gather your composure, you are literally almost tackled as she's going to bump into the two of you. And as she does, it kind of causes that fog kind of roll around. And as it does, it looks as if these wraiths are kind of like spinning around, kind of coming at you. And I'd say it's good enough to say that you guys could retreat out of the fog if
Yeah.
you wanted to.
Yeah.
And you will quickly...
Yeah. Exit. Stage left.
Yep, and as you do, you will back up, and it's almost as if you feel these fingers kind of pulling on the backs of your clothes and hairs, kind of tearing away at you as you rip free of that. Literally, please help, begging,
I'm like, yeah.
trying to get, some help from no one. You see
Yeah.
nothing or no one around.
Fialova, who are you talking to?
What do you mean? He was just here. He was very handsome, and he had a big fiery horse. His hooves had fire,
Oh god. I think she's hallucinating.
and he, I asked for help. And it's pretty obvious that I need help, I think, right? I look pretty...
There are many visions in this fog.
Now let's not go that way again.
He went west. Quickly,
We were
too.
east.
Right?
West.
Didn't he say west?
Correct.
Yes.
Which is the pathway which looked less foggy.
I'd
We
say-
were east.
Yes,
Correct.
let's
You
go
attempted
west.
to go east to try to go back to Daggerford.
I want to also make a perception check when we're walking that way to see if I can see any fresh hoof tracks or survival.
Sure.
I don't know which one you want.
Rhodes is going to start calling out Stanimir. Just yelling Stanimir.
Okay.
And Philoba's gonna cast Protection from Good and Evil on herself.
Okay.
What's the same? Did you, they're both the same, it doesn't matter. 7.
Well, it's going to be very easy to locate. You will find hoof prints, very fresh hoof prints in the direction in which you guys start to walk and that you described. And when you do, it looks as if there's brimstone that's still kind of glowing in the hoof prints. It's hot.
Like,
you
I put
don't
my hand close,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm feeling the heat,
Yeah,
and I'm like...
it's hot.
Does it seem like the fog is like afraid of that heat or something like, or like dissipated by the heat or anything like that?
It still hangs ominously.
Well, you weren't hallucinating. Sure wish I was.
They couldn't see them
to
at all,
holler for
though?
Stanimir, and there's no reply. But it was good thinking.
I'll stop.
Probably good that Stanimir isn't here. Because I would hit him.
We'll start going in the path that
Yeah.
it looks like is the clearest, like the clear
We're gonna walk
direction.
west.
Which is the main road
Yeah.
west.
Yep.
So
We're
you guys
gonna go.
Start
Yeah.
trudging.
Sure.
Same. How like wide is the path? Can we all like walk together?
It's probably 20 feet.
Okay, so we can all walk together.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll keep to like just one side. That makes sense, and walk together then. Kind of in a.
I'm very timid. Like I'm walking like
The path is a muddy path. You're going to see kind of
Diamond shape where we can all see
in the
each other.
pathway,
Yeah.
you're going to
Flying
see
V.
these dark pools of water or puddles that when you look into them, they're dark. They don't really give off reflection.
Don't step in those.
You know they're water.
Do we?
Yeah,
No,
no,
they're
don't step in
water.
those.
That looks like a pool of wraith right there.
Yeah. Ooze. Yeah, let's just keep going.
How much farther is this?
Do we see any like settlements as we walk?
Go ahead and make perception if you like.
Oh, is it still at disadvantage?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I just gave up an act 20. It's an 18.
19.
Does your thing still apply, or were you going to use that?
I think it still applies for you.
Oh, then. Well, my first roll was a 17, so I wouldn't have gotten the.
I don't know. It's kind of like a short burst, I guess, because
Okay.
it's for initiative.
Yeah.
All right.
But
I got a 19 on that perception
I got
with a
a
disadvantage.
23.
What does everybody else got? 23, 19.
And
18? Yeah.
23. You're my victim. When you're looking off to the left, you see a kind of a deadwood tree, probably about 10 feet off the roadway as you're traveling. And what you see in that deadwood tree is 5 nooses. 4 of them are filled with silhouettes that are very similar in shape and size to the 4 of you. 1 empty noose.
He stops and puts a hand up.
We would all stop.
And
Okay.
can I point it out?
You can. He points to a deadwood tree. You don't see what he sees.
That's a tree.
It's a good tree?
Well, no.
Oh.
What are you seeing?
Yeah. What's. Oh,
Wait. We're hanging from that tree.
We're hanging.
We are hanging from that tree.
Yes.
I don't think so, but
You don't see the nooses.
I'll super focus in on the tree, but. Do I see the nooses, or
Any like is
are
it,
they empty nooses?
It's
or...
just a deadwood tree. It has one long kind of branch that hangs over in the middle of the road that you're walking in, but you don't see
they're
what he sees.
No, I don't see any nooses, and I don't see us hanging from them.
What you will see after you kind of finish that line is you'll see a couple crows kind of land on the tree branch. 4 of them.
What do they say about 4 crows? They're just saying.
It's a
One
murder.
more than 3 and less than 5. I don't know.
It's a murder. Isn't it a murder? of
Yeah, they're
crows?
called a murder. More than 1 crow is called a murder. So that's cool. Let's keep walking.
You see him just kind of like ball his gauntlet in a fist, and he's pissed off about his mind being played with like this.
Mm-hmm.
Can I
What the
insight
hell
this
is happening?
situation to see if like we're hallucinating? Like clearly define like these are hallucinations.
What do you want to try to roll to figure that out?
Can I roll an intelligence
Investigation.
check?
or-
Sure.
Loba's like very susceptible, I think, like
No,
to this everything because of like my mind was
I got
changed.
a 12. Yeah.
I'm going to say that because of what you are being religious, you see these as signs. Because
Okay.
you're used to seeing, different signs from your god or your goddess or whatever, that this could be some sort of communication from beyond. Is what you'll see it as.
Could be an omen.
You feel as if
I rolled
maybe
a one.
I'm still tripping from whatever was in that drink.
Do you think this fog is everywhere now? Is this our life now?
Let's see, we have clerics. Who's our clerics? Both of you think that this maybe you're dead.
I'm over here thinking it's an omen.
Rhodes says, I didn't think it would be like this.
What?
What? Barovia? If that's where we are? You think Barovia is another word for, like, the dead?
Land of the dead or from
Yeah.
the afterlife could be.
I thought the moon's radiance would be strong here.
I can't feel her.
Yeah, I'll also grab my emblem and be like, I can't feel mine.
I mean, you can feel it. It's just distance.
Like,
it's cold.
disconnected.
Not completely, but it's
Okay.
like there's like a shroud or a veil or something that's kind of like intersecting the connection. If that
Okay.
makes sense. Like there's still belief and there's still some power in your
Yeah.
holy symbols or whatever, but something is kind of snuffing it out.
A paladin
or
would be like,
tempting
this
to.
has to be another test. Like, test of faith. You're like...
Rhodes is like thinking about how he could make his powers stronger to create the auras that he needs.
So one thing I do want to introduce, since we have this first kind of thing, is I'm going to have you make, when you saw that, I want you to make a wisdom saving throw. And this is going to introduce our fear on my notes, which are sitting on the printer upstairs, and I desperately need, I'll have to get here in a second. I did develop something kind of using some of the stuff out of the DM's guide, like fear, to see if you're going to start developing, like,
Insanity.
You got it, madness.
Am I still frightened?
I like that.
That will have faded.
Yeah.
Or the exhaustion stays?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
That will be a 12.
Okay. You didn't quite send you into kind of this fear status, but it definitely is a little unsettling.
Not every day you see your friends hanging from trees.
Or yourself.
Or yourself hanging from a tree. Yeah, that'd be trippy.
I feel like it would be noticeable too,
Yeah.
because his whole thing is about like being serene and like collected, and he is visibly not
Yeah.
right now.
We should keep trying to find a settlement somewhere to go
Yeah, we
right
need
now.
to.
I don't want to be out in the open right now.
But why?
Because I know you.
Like, we're just in the fog.
Yeah, like, I just don't want to be in the fog. There's so many movies made about this.
We aren't. None of us are from Daggerford, correct?
You're familiar with it, but not from
We've
there.
traveled here.
Yeah.
Are we on a road like
No.
the road? No, not at all.
Nothing. The only
So we-
familiar thing was the bonfire.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yep.
But in
Felt familiar,
Can
for
we-
sure.
Can we? I'm trying to get a sense of whether or not I feel we're on the same plane of existence as we were before. Like maybe try to feel like
Do an Arcana check.
Okay.
I'll make it that.
Can I also?
disadvantage.
Sure.
I'll guide you.
Okay.
That's when our natural 20s are coming up, y'all.
I know. I've got to.
His Arcana for me would be 5, so I have no idea.
With guidance, I have a 19.
Nice.
So you feel as if this is some sort of different realm.
Which it doesn't disperse the health theory.
And I would say because of kind of like your backstory, you're kind of feeling like this is what some of your mentors and things may have been talking to you about. Now you were experiencing And
Yeah.
now you understand and believe what they were telling you.
Is it possible he knows the term like the Shadowfell, like this?
I would say so.
Okay.
I would say so. I would say with that 19, you're able to say you can pass along the information. Oh, thank you, sweet wife.
What a peach.
Also, let me go
Sometimes.
ahead and state this for you guys. It is going to be... So here's how this is going to work. I kind of... Just spitballing some things. Every time you will encounter something potentially ominous or whatever, I may or may not make you kind of make a check. And then you're going to earn essentially what is going to be referred to as like fear points. When you hit certain benchmarks of fear points is when you may slip into bouts of madness or craziness or things affect you. Without getting into spoiling too much, just want to make sure. I'm pretty sure it was wisdom saving throw is what I went with because I felt like that was better than a constitution.
How do you spell your name?
We're gonna wisdom saving throw. Okay.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be funny if you were a wizard?
Oh,
Be a
and
rogue scum?
I was right. 12 was the exact number you needed to hit on that first fear check. So good to know. Thanks, notes. So there you have it. So you'll be keeping track of things like your fear points and such.
Would crows mean anything to my god, like in my thing? I don't think so. But
Like omen.
yeah.
Crows are always an omen.
Yeah, he's the god of
I'm gonna say
vengeance. So
I'm gonna
I
say
don't think
no,
a god of
currently.
vengeance would have anything about crows in it.
Do I recognize any of them as my crow?
No, your crow is still with you or nearby. Like it would under your shoulder or appear.
It's gonna be okay. I don't believe that in any way that
Now,
I say
when
to
you,
the crow.
I'll say when you look at your crow, it looks a little mutated or different. Like it looks as if there's a few less feathers or spots that are like not covered in feathers.
Can I pet him and tell if I can physically perceive the same thing as my eyes are perceiving?
Yes, correct.
So I can
He's
feel
been
like
altered
cold
or
spots.
changed. Yeah.
Poor baby. Are you okay? Darling, that will be named soon. My darling pet. Does he seem like he is being affected similarly to
Correct.
us? Okay.
Correct.
It's going to be okay. I think.
Should we keep pressing on?
In the church that I belong to, the capable paladins and clerics, they take pilgrimages to the Shadowfell. And it's a land of shadows and fog we find ourselves in currently.
And here's something that you would have been instructed by your instructors is while they travel the Shadowfell, they will stay away from an area that they refer to as kind of the cursed land. And they would describe it essentially as this isolated kind of pocket inside the Shadowfell. That's good.
I fear we may be in the worst of it.
Well, did your capable paladins and stuff come back?
That is actually a good question.
What was the success rate on your mission on the pilgrimage?
Let's say go ahead.
I feel like his knowledge would be that most of them do. The ones who made it to the cursed region distinctly do not.
There you go. So if they press forward into it, they never returned. I like that. It's good.
If we come
Good
back
stuff.
from this, you'll be a legend. She's the optimist. Half always full. Half the glass is always full. Anyways, yeah, let's get past the tree where we're supposedly hanging from. It's probably an omen in of itself.
So you continue
He's
to
very
travel.
unamused by your...
Yeah, by my optimism.
You guys continue to travel down the pathway, and you're beginning to see that the dense fog on the side is kind of scaling back a little bit, kind of opening up a brighter horizon, enough to reveal that off the pathway, at this point, is forested. You see pines, you see forest life, kind of on the forest floor. Currently,
Okay. Do we hear wolves anymore?
occasionally.
Still distant?
And I'd
or-
say that now that you're kind of in this direction, you'll see like an occasional kind of crawling of lightning, very distant kind of low rumble of thunder.
Ooh. Oh, it won't be good if it rains.
It's probably like 55 degrees, like that kind of fall
Ooh, perfect.
temperature.
The living. This armor gets hot.
There has to be something better off the road. We have to keep going.
Yeah, I just don't know about going into the woods very much.
I will let you know the dense fog is still deeper into the woods. It's just kind of peeled back to give you more of a visual of what you're traveling in.
We still don't see any structures or anything.
Not currently.
Okay.
You're just on a road, a wagon path.
Do the paths go off or no?
Nope.
Just
pretty much straightforward.
Okay. Yeah, we'll keep pressing on.
I am good in the woods if we ever need to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I am good in the forest if we ever need to go that way.
I wanted to make a perception check to see if I can check. Awesome. That's an 8. Rolled a 17 the first time, okay?
Foggy
That's
trees.
every roll of mine.
Nice, cool. Love it.
Can I look for... Can I keep looking for hoofprints?
Oh yeah, there's hoof
I would say that you guys could have tracked them down this far and see
Yeah.
that there is a point where they start to fade, and I'll say like probably if you guys traveled roughly a mile or so, they would have they're gone.
Did they ever leave the road, or did they cut into the forest?
It's almost as if it just
flew away.
or turned invisible or something.
In your studies at your places of worship, did you hear about what the plan to come home would have been, though they never succeeded?
How did they get home?
Any insight on how we could,
They,
get out?
to my understanding, they spend their time helping travelers traverse the Shadowfell, and eventually they themselves become better at that until it is no longer a challenge for them, and then usually they find a way to return. But those in the Cursed Lands, we assume, are overcome. I suppose because the moon's light doesn't touch here.
Go ahead and give me an investigation. You can't read me, Ellie. I'm good with this one.
16.
I've run this one a few times. What was it?
16.
I'm going to say while you're having this conversation, you're going over some things that your brain was kind of working on. Some of those voices you heard possibly were some of the ones that didn't return.
Okay.
That's sad in ways.
I rolled 14 in survival to see if there's anything pointing other than this road we're going down. If there's any little footpath anywhere else we should be going besides just straight down this road.
You will see what you maybe a sign off to the road. It looks like it's on a crooked kind of tree, and it looks like there's something adhesed or nailed or fastened or fixed to this possible sign.
Okay. Go up to where I can read it?
Sure.
Look at it?
Can we all see it?
Yeah.
Or is it an illusion?
Yeah, you can all see it.
Okay.
You go up to read it, and when you
Just
do,
ask now.
the sign is basically an arrow continuing to point down the pathway, and it says you're going to die. And then when you blink your eye, it says Barovia.
Did we all see the "you're going
Found
to
it.
die" message, or
No.
No,
You wouldn't
okay.
have seen that. Like
We
she
just read
she was the
Barovia.
first to go up to it, and she saw it, and then when she stepped back and blinked, you guys would have approached and then Barovia that way, continuing on the pathway you're going.
well, that answers that.
Off to Barovia.
Barovia.
Nothing
just
weird
gonna
about
hold
this
that for a
sign.
bit.
Nothing weird about this sign at all. It's
Nope,
totally
we're good
normal.
To go.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Pip pip.
Yep.
So you continue to walk the path.
Yeah, it's still kind of on guard, I would say.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
So as you continue to do so, you walk for maybe another half mile to 3/4 of a mile. You're going to begin to see that there is fog, or that the fog is going to kind of spill out of the forest and swallows up the road behind you. Like you're getting a look, and you look back, and while you've traveled, you just kind of click to notice it's like encroaching and kind of either hurting you, pushing you, or trying to get at you. And I would say because you experienced it, occasionally you'll see this kind of hand or arm kind of reach out trying to get a hold of you. And then just ahead, jutting from the impenetrable woods that are off to the sides, you're going to see a very high stone buttress or buttresses that are looming in that gray fog ahead. There are huge iron gates that hang on the stonework. Dew clings, wet and cold, to the iron bars that are rusted. You can see that there are 2 headless statues of armed guardians that flank either side of this gate, and you will easily be able to see that the heads are now kind of embedded at the feet of these statues in the ground with like moss and kind of various molds kind of growing on the heads. I will show you what they look like if I can do this right. I actually 3D printed this, but I never got to it. Let's see. Nope, I'm not going to be able to find it. It's just espresso now.
Just espresso now.
Mm.
It's delicious.
Coffee's so good.
It just surprised me. I was expecting teddy bear.
Teddy bear.
Just, let's go.
Got none of it. Got like a bear who's been to prison once.
Anyway, I'll show you the picture in the book. Sorry, I'm not going to waste too much time on this. We got much to take a look at. So that's kind of what it looks like.
Okay. Oh, it's yeah.
Oh, this is my very old book. Sounds like me getting out of bed. So what do you do?
Are the gates open?
They look closed.
Awesome. Is there a doorbell?
Yeah.
Do you approach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you approach within 10 feet, they...
We all give that look to each other that we just did at the table. We're all like,
slowly, squeakily, ominously open.
do we see any? Do I see any? Roll a perception check.
Sure.
Walk right in.
That sounds about right.
You notice how I...
Yay! Dirty 20.
You really don't see anything from where you are other than more road to travel. The road kind of goes from that muddy road to like broken old cobble patches, as if it was once a well-cobbled road, but now has kind of been lost to time and faded into the dirt and earth.
Right. Yeah, if I saw Celeste walking in, I'd
I feel like anything's safer than this fog.
almost immediately walk in after her.
Okay.
Like, vigilantly, like...
So what's your marching order?
Celeste first.
I'm not last anymore.
Nihili's gonna be second.
I'll be last.
I'm too afraid. Like,
As-
I'm shook.
As the party traverses through these gates leading to Barovia, and you are the last to cross roads. That's funny. Anyway. That wasn't-
The road's less traveled.
After you kind of move just past the archway or the opening, you'll hear and they'll clang closed.
These rays sound terrible. I feel like they need some water.
Some DW-40.
Cast
Dinos.
Cast grease on the gates. Do we see the fog close in behind us? Like,
It's
right up
still
to the gates?
so it's still, and then when it gets to the gates, it's gonna just kind of halt at the gates, and then
Does
just
it
hangs
touch
there.
the iron? No?
Doesn't seem to.
Okay.
Do these sentinel statues, do they move at all? Do they?
I'm gonna
What do you think about
say,
them?
what was your passive? Is it 15 or better?
15.
Okay. Oh, they just looks like stone statues that have been desecrated, essentially.
Okay.
The heads were lopped off. You can tell they're based off the way they were some sort of like gallant paladin or protector or something like that.
It's your
Lovely.
fate right there.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
And they look identical, too.
Perfect. Do they look like these two?
Well, the heads are a little disfigured and it's hard to tell.
I'm not a paladin.
Yeah.
Are you sisters?
Yes.
Oh,
They answer in unison, yes.
and what are your dad? No, wait.
No.
Doesn't make sense.
Is this going to be a normal question that you just
Yes,
randomly
like,
ask people?
12 children?
No.
Okay.
That he knows of.
No.
Probably no.
Okay.
What do we see?
Are you my dad?
More road
Oh my
and the
God.
forest. It seems a little tighter and denser past this point.
So this is not like city. Like we didn't walk into a city. We just walked through some gates and.
Possibly the gate or the entryway to where you need to go, or the Barovia or whatever it was saying.
Is there still fog?
Oh yeah, it's consistent
not
fog.
Dense, like it was before?
Correct.
Or
Just pockets here and there, enough to kind of like hang ominously.
Oh,
Is there
okay.
any
and
more
create shadows?
residual of like our specific dead people or people that were pulling us? Is there still any persistence of that like specificity, I guess?
Currently, it doesn't feel that way.
Okay.
And say Niley didn't
Yeah,
see anyone.
still
that
as I
was
said, it
pulling
was
at her.
a
Your mom
an
isn't,
old
like,
cobble
following us
path,
around,
so it's
right?
like
Yeah.
mud and patches of cobble
My mom
that kind of
is
lead down
buried
there, so
in
it
a
changes
cemetery
over to that.
back wherever we came from.
So it looks like I said, time, wear and tear, heavy rains has kind of like broken this once probably prominent cobble road into this kind of ominous looking.
Mom's dead.
Figured a nat 20 would have meant mom was alive.
14
and
again for survival.
Okay,
Trying to get to some kind of like town or something.
sure. Also, you'll vigilantly keep looking as you're walking, and you'll see more signs. It'll give you kind of mile markers, half mile, quarter mile, and then you're going to begin to kind of see what appears to be a collection of homesteads, buildings, and such. But they're very silhouetted at this point. But it is life, potential civilization, death. Who knows?
An inn. An inn would be nice.
Building would be nice. I'll take anything.
I don't know if I want to necessarily,
Well, staying is not obviously the goal, but
or even like resting. I don't know if I want to drop these walls I have up in my mind. I'm afraid to relinquish my consciousness to sleep or even rest.
could
So
just
when
knock
you-
you out.
When the party gets within a half a mile,
Yeah.
You are going to now, like you're getting a half mile, looking ahead, you're having this conversation. You're going to kind of take pause when you begin to hear a creaking noise from behind you.
Like
And you turn and look and you see kind of in the woods, like you really had to be looking for it. It's overgrown with like moss and vines and such, is gallows. And hanging from the gallows are lifeless, or is a lifeless gray body. There's a cool breeze that kind of causes everyone to shudder as it kind of brushes across the backs of your neck and through parts of your armor. And it seems to turn the gray body or figure that is in the gallows or hanging from the gallows. As it turns the figure slowly, you see that its eyes are open and that they fix upon... Everybody roll me a d20.
I feel like it's gonna be Philo, but oh my goodness! Natural one.
I also have a natural one.
I got a
What is up
15.
with our ones?
15.
I got
Yeah.
5.
No.
The eyes are going to lock upon you, and the rest of you can see that the cold, gray, lifeless body looks just like... Oh, never mind. My apologies. Let me double check that.
What's his name? Stanmere?
Or Niley.
Or does it look like me? Am I spider? Just
Damn, I look good.
The three of you are going to see that it is just a random human hanging, to where when it locks eyes on you, you see yourself hanging in the gallows. And go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw for a fear check.
and is that disadvantage still?
I think it's like saves and ability checks.
Okay. That's gonna be a 10.
You have a fear point. So you see as she is frozen in fear and fright. at this site, as if impacted somehow. You don't know.
Niley,
Yeah.
are you
Wait,
okay?
am I still frozen, or like if they say my name, am I like?
You can play. You're frightened. You're
Okay.
really seeing yourself hung.
I would actually probably maybe take a little minuscule, like a little step back
Sure.
from.
What's the problem?
Let's keep moving away from here.
Does it look more recent or like it's been there forever?
You want to go take a look?
Well, it depends if it looks recent or it's been
You gotta
been
get
there
closer.
forever.
You have to get closer.
Okay,
Closer.
I'll
To
get
take a
closer
look.
to it.
Sure.
Ah.
Be careful.
I
You
just
can-
see a dead body.
You can make a medicine check.
A
Be careful.
disadvantage, right?
That's a skill. So yes.
How far away does she walk, Celeste?
8.
Probably about 15 feet from where your party is. 8. The first thing that gets your attention and causes you to stop is the smell. It smells of rot. It's been there for quite some time. It looks as if this was some sort of innocent commoner or civilian or something like that. It's been there for
Does it
enough time to validate rot.
Does it still have clothes on?
It does.
Are there any like visible like anything it's got? Any pouches or?
If there was, it would show signs quickly if it's been taken or.
I'm not gonna bother that.
Did it open its eyes and move to all
The
of us?
eyes were open when it spun around. They were like
Yeah.
open.
So we all saw
the
that.
facial expression was literally one of like pain, agony, torture. You can see, but then when it locked eyes with her specifically, she saw herself hanging. The rest of you
Yeah.
just see this innocent civilian hanging in the gallows, and now she has a fear point.
I'm gonna console her as if, like, I think that she's just generally shook, not like, like, it's just...
I can see
I
myself
know.
there hanging.
Yeah, like, unfortunately, I think this may not be the last body we see. Like,
Yeah.
just try and take some deep breaths, and, like, I understand, I'm scared, too.
Let's just keep moving. Celeste, let's go. Let's stop messing with the dead body.
I might have something useful,
I like your ingenuity.
but I'm all about moving on.
Yeah, let's... Yeah, I'll probably keep quiet about it. I see me hanging there.
Okay. Okay.
Because everyone else is probably freaked out. So, like, I feel like if I say,
You don't
that's me.
Yeah. Okay.
That's...
So this is about, I think I said about a half mile, at the half mile marker, and
Yeah.
you'll continue, and at the quarter mile marker, everyone is going to see this old kind of deadwood tree. There's a couple owls that are hanging out in the tree, and then when you guys get within probably 30 feet of this thing, they'll fly off. There is something kind of slumped or resting against this old deadwood tree at the quarter mile marker.
Do they sense any life?
Oh no. And I would even say there's a sickly kind of sweet smell in the air as you're getting within that 35 to 30 feet
Take a
range.
minute to, like, kind of wrap something around my, like, just right through here, just to, like, not smell as deeply.
This is not food, baby. Just leave it be.
No, Christy.
I give him a little, like, cracker from my rations. Like, don't.
Your little crumbs just hit your shoulder.
Yep.
Oh my god.
We'll get you some real food when we...
How far
Survive.
are they on the path? They're like off the path.
Off the path, off
Like,
the right of the
how
path.
far?
Probably 5 feet.
And they look dead.
When you take a better look at it, yeah, it looks as if they've been killed. Go ahead and give me a perception check to get a better look. Anybody who wants to may at this point.
I got a 2.
Definitely dead.
Yeah.
I'm about to throw both these sets of dice in the
I'm
trash.
still shook,
I know.
okay?
I got 2 more ones.
I got a 1 and a 6.
13.
You can see that it looks very similar dress-wise as the person hanging in the gallows. The colors are they're color, but they're muted. So it's not, the reds are like very like crimson or whatever. They should have been bright, but they're not.
Okay.
He's definitely gray and cold-looking corpse. You've seen them dealing, with your background and who you are. One thing you do notice is there's these large kind of gashes or claw marks that go from like, top of the shoulder down, as ripped open the shirt that they're wearing, and then you can see it's torn into the flesh. There's like maggots and things kind of crawling around in it. Clutching something in his hand tightly.
And the last one that we saw just like not like magically sensing, but just based on logic, would I describe that as undead?
In the gallows, it didn't give off that vibe.
Okay.
Do all these presents, do we perceive them as like any kind of connection? Like, are they the same race? Are they wearing similar garb? Or
Go ahead and give me an investigation.
I'm gonna walk closer and just from a distance try to see what's in its hand.
So you see what is kind of crushed, but it looks like a letter or a piece of parchment that's kind of grasped with a death grasp. And then you are a cleric, correct? So you get within probably a few feet of it, and there is this kind of tingling sensation of death or undead, as you were kind of trying to pick up before.
Okay.
my investigation was natural 1, so.
I mean, your passive is pretty good. The people that you've seen so far seem to be of the same village or type, like they're wearing the same kind of clothes and things like that. So there's some connection there as far as that goes.
Are you announcing what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems has been slain by some sort of beast with claws, but they are undead, I believe. There's something in their hand.
The beast or the thing there?
Dead person.
The thing, yeah. And then you will all, when he points it out, see this kind of like crushed up piece of parchment or letter.
Well, do we want that letter enough?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to take out my sword and try to stab it and move it towards me.
You can go ahead and make an attack with it. See how well you manipulate the sword to do what you need to do.
I was gonna say just cut his hand off.
The hand goes like thing.
Come back with that note.
That's good. So you'll take your sword and kind of maneuver it and whale it to where it will drop the piece of parchment or paper, but it's like halfway between where it is and where you are. It's within a grasp of either one or whatever.
I'll pull my sword and kind of get ready to hit if it moves. Obviously, want to just be prepped to knock it out, maybe,
Okay.
or to slice it open.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just going to put my boot down on it and slide it towards me.
Sure. Hand that over. And that's what he has.
Yay.
So it'll be in an envelope, wax seal, unbroken, and it'll have a kind of a strange symbol in it that you've never seen before.
Okay.
And I may be able to show the symbol.
Oh, I can't read. Just kidding.
The funniest
It's
thing.
not easy
I
to
did
read.
that on
It's
Tuesday
done
when
well,
I
but
couldn't read.
it's kind of challenging to read.
Okay. Shall I read it?
If you want to
Aloud.
read it out loud.
Okay.
I don't know. Does it seem like a spell?
Is it a scroll?
Alright. Avail to thee of might and valor. I, a lowly servant of Barovia, send honor to thee. We plead for thy to desperately needed assistance. Or we plead for thy so desperately needed assistance. The love of my life, Irina.
And the creature comes to life right in the middle of reading it. So you were kind of ready for it,
Yeah.
but you were distracted by the letter reading.
What? I would have.
Sure, go ahead, take your swing.
Thank you. That's an 11.
No,
that's a 9. I lied.
Is it a 9?
It is a 9. I just can't count.
Double check something here. I think a 9 hits it.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Damn.
Uh-huh.
Okay. 9. 11 points of damage.
Okay, you will cleave into this undead creature, and it slumps back down.
I've definitely screamed as soon as all this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Wipe maggots off my face.
Oh. May able to I'll remove my sword. I'll
Sure.
still keep watching it.
Sure.
I can get this letter later. I can.
Sure.
Okay.
So you're focusing on it.
Roads, keep going. Ready with another swing.
Irina Kolyana has been afflicted by an evil so deadly that even the good people of our village cannot protect her. She languishes from her wound I would have her saved from this menace. There is much wealth in this community. I offer all that might be had to thee and thy fellows, if thou shalt but answer my desperate plea. Come quickly, for her time is at hand. Oft that I have shall... All that I have shall be thine. Sorry.
Just adds to the roleplay. It's great. It's hard to read.
In the fog.
It's like a heavy cursive for sure.
Yeah.
Like, and I can read cursive.
Difficult Slavic names. Kolyana Inzrovich Burgermeister.
Very good. And I'm
So
gonna
we get all
discard.
his worldly possessions. Is that how I pronounced that?
Does this motivate you?
It's I think
Maybe.
it's Kolyan Adanovich. I believe it's what it is.
Ivanovich?
I think.
Do any of us have any idea who that person is in IRL?
No. These names are completely foreign to you.
Don't worry, Vilova, I got it.
So he was the mayor of this village.
Oh, I killed the mayor?
Is that the mayor, or is that the person with the
I think
mayor's
that's
letter?
a
The
lowly
mayor's
servant.
letter.
Oh.
No, he's the mayor. You killed
Like
him.
he was probably the
Well, he was already dead.
the messenger.
Yeah, yeah.
Deliver-
Oh, I
deliver
killed the
mess-
messenger.
Aw,
There's definitely a rule about
He was-
that.
I think he may have been, let's say, past his expiry date.
Yes, I would agree.
Who was it addressed to? Just
Uh,
people?
It's
The war hero?
You also notice that there's blood stains on that too. That's what those little red.
yeah.
Oh, God.
Hail to thee of might and valor.
Hail to the
Okay, so
might
that's very
and valor.
vague.
Sounds like ourselves.
Just like,
Yes.
hey, strong people, come help. Does the double dead body move again?
No.
Okay. I was watching it, I just wanted to make sure. Let's keep going, maybe?
Before we go, I'm gonna work up my courage and go within enough. I'd say try to stay 10 feet away, but I want to take a look at the big giant gash wounds and see if I can't discern any type of anything. I'm thinking
Oh,
like
you
medicine.
said that was from a beast, right?
It looks like a beast.
Well,
yeah,
they're my
I'll point
favorite
it out to
enemies,
the
so I
ranger
didn't know if I would
as
be
well.
able to discern like what kind of damage it was.
So you made an investigation to do that.
I did medicine, but it's
Oh,
only
okay,
a 9.
okay. 9's gonna know that that's what killed him.
A beast. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, those
the
markings or the whatever, and they look like claw marks.
It looks like they was taken out in just one swoop.
You can make a nature check if you'd like, or you can make a medicine check if you're trying to figure out more about him and it.
Dice. 6.
It's not like we don't have plenty around here.
Do you know my cases of the dragon?
Not down here. 6? No.
I don't really have anything. I got medicine, but I don't think medicine's gonna tell us what type of beast. That would be a nature check, right?
That's correct. Remember disadvantage.
I want to point out that my religion is only +1, you guys. That's
That's
a cleric.
insane. An 18 with disadvantage.
It's a secret.
Yeah, 18.
So it looks as if it is a larger than a wolf,
But I know dire wolves with that one.
smaller than a dire wolf. It's almost like a human-sized hand.
As in like
I'll use my own hand kind of as a
werewolf?
reference, kind of
Sure.
like
Sure.
Do we know what werewolves are?
Lycanthropes, werewolves,
Don't
sure.
they get big?
I don't know. I don't know what the.
Werewolves, don't they get big?
They're still considered medium size, but I would say that in your travels, I would definitely you would have heard tales or stories or things like that. Never, this is your first encounter with something of that, so you can't say, well, that's definitely what it is. But it's good enough to say.
They've told me about this. I remember hearing about this when I was with the Guardians.
But I even think that even a dire wolf would have bigger.
The dire wolf will be much
werewolf would be
larger.
a werewolf would also be bigger. It just looks like a hand. It looks like a hand. Should we keep doing that? Kind of like she's trying to figure it out. Like, how could?
Sorry.
Nails like you do.
No, good.
I would like to study it specifically in regards to the evil affliction mentioned in the letter and see if I can discern anything about how that manifests in this corpse. Is it related to the gash, or is it
Just killed by
some, yeah, was it already cursed?
Okay, go ahead and give me a medicine check to examine them. So you're trying to figure out if, like, whatever did that created the undead effect?
Yeah, I guess, like, maybe more specifically, like, is the wound fresher than the rot of
Okay,
the
yeah,
general
go ahead and give me a...
Yes, please. Anybody else want anything?
disadvantage, right? Is there any, like, is there a Coke?
There is...
Caffeine. Or Dr. Pepper would be great.
Dr. Pepper.
Thank you.
Baby.
15 medicine.
15 is pretty good to know that the affliction, you'll be able to see as you're kind of poking, using your sword to kind of examine, keeping your distance for safety reasons. You're going to find kind of a bite, like a human bite mark, and you're going to see that there is the claw marks are after the human bite mark.
I'll point out the bite mark to everyone, and
It'll be like bandaged and kind of hidden and protected on the arm that he's able to locate.
I'll state my theory that it seems to predate the gash wounds that killed them.
And he comes up again. He does. Go ahead.
Again?
Yeah.
Rude screams.
That's a 10. So
Hits.
I'll hit him with a Sacred Flame. It's a dex saving throw.
that's only 8 points of damage.
He fails the dex saving throw. You chop into him again.
Yeah.
Let's see what it does.
5 points of radiant damage.
Okay. I want to double check something else. So
I'm halfway down the road to the town. I'm going to be out of...
So you can't run off.
You can still see me.
that's right.
It's John. No, that's the BBG this whole time. It's just John Cena.
Let's see.
Do you have, like, particularly undead fighting themed, like, domain stuff? Because I do not.
No,
Okay.
no. I don't really have any fighting things at all. All my things are like,
Buffs.
hey guys, we're gonna do great. Let's try not to kill if we don't have to.
Okay, so the Sacred Flame is going to basically, after you chop into him, you're going to literally see the Sacred Flame kind of engulf him, and it's going to be green, which is a little strange. Very similar color green to what was in that bonfire. And it is going to take, you almost feel like you see the soul or something kind of go up with the flame and separate from the body, and then there's nothing. Like, the creature's there, but it looks definitely sunken and hollow more than normal.
Do I see any effect in the like in the fog? Is there any kind of halo effect or anything like that? Does it do anything to...
No.
Okay.
Do I know that this... How do I know this thing isn't going to get back up?
He doesn't seem too much of a threat. Could we just leave him?
Depends. He could crawl after us.
Perhaps if he comes to life once again, try and speak with him.
Oh. Could try that. Are we waiting around, or...?
Celeste, you're already kind of ahead. How far are you ahead?
We were a quarter mile.
A quarter mile.
Probably about halfway.
It's about an eighth.
Yep.
Okay. She's trekking. She's like a silhouette in the distance. Like,
Where's
you can still see
Celeste?
her.
Where is she?
Going on ahead?
You, Celeste, are going to like step into the city of Barovia. You'll see the sign.
Sorry.
It's dilapidated. It's kind of broken down. And when you do, you enter in, you hear the laughter in the distance, probably 60 feet off to your right, of a small child. And then in front of you, you believe you see within the shroud of this mist and fog in the street, the main thoroughfare street, the silhouette of two people on top of something, and you hear what sounds like "Get back, back." So you have two directions in which you hear things from. So think on that, the rest of you.
One last thing I want to try and perceive. Is there clothing similar to the travelers we met outside of town?
They are slightly different.
Okay.
Like, there are some similar fashions, but they're different. The ones you encountered are a little bit more flamboyant, colorful, and such. Like,
I would, if you want to speak with this guy, probably not good to have someone who's tried to cleave him in half twice around. And I would probably chase after Celeste at that point.
okay.
Kind of like.
I'm sure there will be others to speak with, but this one in particular was holding this letter. Might be useful.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'd leave you two to speak with him, and I would not like knees to chest it down the road, but like that, you know.
Make
Urgency.
haste.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Like.
So, making haste.
I'll, I really have nothing. Let's see here. Especially prepared.
Go speak with Dad.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Not prepared.
I'm gonna catch shit for that.
Oh.
Are you there for that?
I've heard of it, yes. But I think it also came up in when we did Tomb of Annihilation, where
Probably.
you were playing Lilith and you didn't have it prepared or something. I remember you giving us so much shit about it, so you're like, what cleric doesn't have it prepared?
This one.
See?
Neither one of us.
So what are you guys doing? I was waiting on the two of you. What you want to do?
I will probably wait another, no more than 5 minutes.
I'll be increasingly more anxious. Like, I'm gonna pace back and forth. Like, I want to talk to him, but those two seem really strong physically, and I'm a little girl, so, like, we should probably catch up and make sure they're okay, make sure I'm okay.
You're big, right? Like, you're buff and...
I am quite stubborn, too, so... you also see him kind of, preparing the somatics for a sacred flame.
I think probably after maybe, 2 or 3 minutes of waiting, I might beeline towards these two. Like, I'm sorry, Rhodes. I can't.
So I'll catch up.
I'm afraid.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go to Celeste. You've heard what you've heard. You see what you see. You now look back with her to see your sister kind of in her typical, I'm
Naruto
going to
running.
catch up with you. Yeah, Naruto running.
When I find you, and I will.
What are you doing? Because they're at a distance. They're
You
at an
said
eighth
the
of a
one
mile
side
away.
was a child laughter.
You hear off to your right, in a distance 60, 70 feet, what sounds like a girl or a small child giggling or laughing, and then you hear directly in front of you what sounds like, a voice kind of out of the fog, like, bark, and you hear some other things.
Never the
Well, I
child.
want to find out what sounds like a threat.
So you're going to go forward.
Yes.
Okay. You do. You start moving forward. Are you going to rush to it? Are you walking to it?
I'm going to hasten.
Okay, when you do, you'll see out of the corner of your eye two small girls, about 65 feet, kind of standing, one of them holding a small kind of doll or bear or something, as they just kind of watch you run by, and you head straight. When you get to what you're hearing, it is definitely, the fog kind of begins to separate, and it kind of reveals what you're going to see. You're in like a crossroads or an intersection, if you will, in this town, and there are multiple buildings. The pathway is still that kind of broken old cobble that is underneath foot. In the center of this intersection or crossroads is a wagon turned on its side. The cargo contents have been spilled out. There are 3 undead creatures crawling and trying to get to 2 people on top of this wagon in the center. One of them is a male who is trying to swipe down with his longsword at these creatures and using his boot to try to fend them off. The other appears to be she appears to wear the same kind of clothing as the bodies that you've seen coming in, but she looks like she could work at a tavern. She has a little more scantily clad about her, but still modestly dressed, as he seems to be like taking his arms, trying to protect her. Maybe. He's trying to protect her, is what you got so far.
Can I pull out a bow and try and shoot at the undead?
You can start to do that. You get to the point where you see her kind of hastily move, and as you do, you look out of the periphery of your eyes and you see two small girls.
Polite nod, but once I see Celeste hastily move, now we're gonna probably move into like a... Like if I was like quick walking before, we're gonna move into a jog.
Okay. And then the two of you will see this all kind of slow kind of play out, and then you will arrive at the same situation to where you look off to your right and you'll see two small children as described before.
Are they them? I mean, I don't know.
They make it creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, two girls playing.
And then
sisters.
you definitely will see that your two party members have rushed straight into what you hear in the distance sounds like some sort of like last stand or combat or something. It's a prominent male voice. What?
Did that one dead body come back to life or no?
No.
Oh, it did not. Okay. Sorry.
Hells.
They're rushing towards this person, these people in danger. I would be hot on their tails. Like, I'd try to be catching back up to support.
Grab this person, and I start dragging them with me.
Which person?
The corpse.
Okay.
Ew.
Okay.
I don't want to know. I'm gonna just...
Determined to get scrapped.
Yeah.
So as you pull out your bow, you knock your arrow.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
Fire it.
Okay, roll.
Is it disadvantage?
It's not at disadvantage because you're looking at your ability checks and saves. So this is not an ability check, I think. I think this is straight up combat.
So it's just regular.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because I think the next one puts your attacks at disadvantage.
Well, it doesn't matter because it sucked anyway.
Okay.
This is 7.
So you pull back, knock the arrow, and begin to fire it, and I think we're going to take... This is a good point to, like, stop and maybe set up for the next chapter or next episode. So thanks for watching. Stick with us. So much more to come.